Once people realized that there was a Black-owned, by a woman, studio in Miami, which doesn't exist, like you're it. My name is Denetrya Brookins, and I am a certified yoga instructor. I've been teaching and practicing yoga for a little over 4 years. So I originally started practicing yoga when I was pregnant with my third child. I was about 5 months pregnant, and I had a slew of medical things going on in my life that were induced by stress. So I pleaded with my daughter's father to just let me go to yoga, and I started taking prenatal yoga twice a week, and from that point I loved it and never stopped. I started doing private lessons first because I didn't have a space to really teach group classes. I did like teaching a lot of workshops, so I hosted quite a few workshops in the space that my friends allowed me to use, and then from there people were asking for more group classes, and that's when I got a studio. For me, the studio was more so, and the name reflected what I wanted to provide for them. When I was going through this process of going to yoga classes when I was pregnant, I would go to yoga classes subsequently after that, and I would look around and I would be like the only Black person in the room, which was fine for me because I'm a superstar. I can go anywhere and feel comfortable. I did notice that a lot of other people that were doing yoga were not pleased about what they were seeing when they would walk into a yoga class. So it affected a lot of Black people, that they felt uncomfortable with going into a studio. They felt uncomfortable with the body images that they saw, and so they didn't have any representation. And so that became my mission statement, to speak from a Black woman's perspective, even though I didn't only teach the Black women, but it was used to empower Black women, so that you know that when you come to Black Women Yoga Studio, you are going to see representation of yourself. You're going to see somebody with natural hair. You're going to see somebody who's a mother. So that was very important for me, to have some type of, to be an outlet or be a platform and show people that there is representation within this particular field.
Everybody say the beginning part of the song. All ready? Say you can if you want to. All right.
So the struggle part was, there's going to be people that are going to be resistant to this movement. And trap yoga, when I started practicing trap yoga, for me was something that I thought was just a cute little hashtag. Oh, I'm doing yoga to trap music. I didn't know it was going to become a thing. And I'm not saying that I created trap yoga, but I said, oh, this could be a thing. And so when I got the studio, I named a class Trap Yoga, and I said, whatever gets my people to the mat, whatever gets people to the mat. And I know one thing about our culture, we love music. I know one other thing about our culture, we like to dance. We don't necessarily like exercising, but if I can get them in and trick them into doing yoga, give them something that they like. So in my Trap Yoga class, I'm gonna give you that party effect. People who've never tried yoga at all and always wanted to, for those people that, my friend drugged me here because she thought it would be fun. It was always just a party, and then we would do yoga on top of that. So number one, 2 things that I got out of them. I got them to move and I got them to sweat. And then it became a thing. Once people realized that there was a Black-owned, by a woman, studio in Miami, which doesn't exist, and when I realized that it was the only one in Florida, everybody starts calling. You know, I'm teaching at an aftercare program, I'm teaching at a summer program, I'm teaching at FIU, I'm teaching at colleges, I'm teaching everywhere else except the studio. And so it was tough for me to have to drag my kids. We never left the studio, we were always there. And so I thought that was a little bit selfish and a little unfair. So that didn't work out at that particular time, but it was fine, because I felt like I needed to be everywhere else. Other people needed to see that yoga is for everybody. And so for the studio, unfortunately, you know, people were upset about the studio closing, but I still see a lot of those students and I go to them. So it worked out. It worked out just fine. I feel like my purpose is to just be transparent and just invite people into my life, holistic lifestyle, and just whatever they take, whatever they need, they take, whatever they don't, leave it. That's my role.